What's up, everybody? This is your boy T Dubs back again. Never stopping, never quitting. And I want to let y'all know that this is the T Dubs Show. And please be sure to check out my show as well as others on the Exquisite Podcast Radio Network. Alright, today's show is going to be 23. It's healing time. And I have come up with that because I've went over the fact that African Americans have also built this nation. We took part in building this nation. And as far as slavery goes, God allowed some African Americans to go through slavery for a reason. That was to get people, get us back in order, to get us in alignment so we could do His will. And now that we know what's going on and our perception has changed, now it's time to heal. It's time to bring forth healing. In order to heal, there are three things that we have to change. First, we must change our mind, and then we must change our perception, and we also change our attitude. We have to change our mind because a lot of things we were programmed to do through slavery. A lot of things we were programmed to do, like the music we've been listening to has not been great music. The lifestyles we've taken on that are full of sin. And now that, like I said, I think I said in a previous show or even in the video, that slavery has somewhat evolved. Instead of actually us being in change, physical change, now we're in spiritual change through sin. The enemy is now using sin to deceive us and deceive our minds, and they're thinking that marriage isn't good, and they're thinking that the life of God isn't good, the Christian life isn't a good place to go. And now he's deceiving our minds, and they're thinking that Christianity isn't real because of slavery. And a lot of us have walked back into the shackles of sin because of this, and now we feel like, we should be able to do what we want. We should be able to go and live the life that we want because that Christianity isn't real, and we can just go and do what we want. Now that's the trick of the enemy, because that's something that the enemy wants us to do. He doesn't want us to live right. He doesn't want us to do right. He wants us to be bound by sin. He wants us to be a slave to sin. He wants our minds to be gone. So we have to change our mind and actually want to walk the right path that God wants us to walk. Because when you're walking in God, when you're walking with the Lord, you're walking in freedom. You're walking in the path that He wants you to go. You're getting the best that God wants you to have, and the enemy doesn't want you to have that. He tries to manipulate your mind, even with the media, and the enemy is not the only one. It's the media, it's people that's atheistic, it's people that are against Christianity, people that are against everything that it stands for, and are against everything that we're trying to build in ministry. And because they simply want to do what they want to do. They want to live their lifestyle. They don't want Christianity around because they don't want to be convicted. They don't want to be corrected. They want correction. So the first thing for us to do is to change our mind, have our mind made up to want to do better, to want to live better, to want to have a better life, to want to have families, and to want to help the community, to want to better ourselves as people. Because since we're such slaves to sin and slaves to doing whatever we want to do, we're caught up in us going against each other. You got blacks going against blacks. You got blacks hating blacks. You got blacks killing blacks. You got all these things in society is because of us doing what we want to do. Now, if everyone actually focused on God's business and kingdom work and kingdom minded, having a kingdom mindset, all this wouldn't be going on. This is going on because people are doing what they want to do. It's not, we're choosing to hurt each other, cause harm to each other. It's a choice. So we need to make the choice to not do it anymore. It's a decision that needs to be made. We're making decisions because we're constantly killing each other. Killing someone is not an accident. When you go out and do crimes or sell drugs and poison your own people, that's not an accident. It's not a mistake. That's a decision that you chose to do. You deliberately chose. We're deliberately choosing to harm each other, to fight each other, even in ministry, even amongst the churches. We're fighting each other and going against each other. So we're being programmed to do that. So now we have to break free of that program. That's one step to healing. We have to change our mind. Hey, I don't want to live this way anymore. I want to do this way. I don't want to do this no more. I want to change the way I'm thinking. I want to change my mindset. That's the first step, is to admit that the way you've been taught, the way you're thinking is wrong, and that it's time for a change. and I'm gonna cut it off here because we're gonna take a short break and we're gonna go over the other two in just a bit. So don't go anywhere because I will be back.
Just fight a little longer, my friend. It's all worth it in the end. But when you got nobody to turn to, just hold on and I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll find you. Just hold on and I'll find you.
I'm hanging on by a thread, and all I'm clinging to is prayers. And every breath is like a battle. I feel like I ain't come prepared. And death's knocking on the front door. Pain's creeping through the back. Fears crawling through the windows, waiting for them to attack. They say don't get bitter, get better. I'm working on switching them letters. But tell God I'ma need a whole lot of hope keeping it together. I'm smiling in everyone's face. I'm crying whenever they leave the room. They don't know the battle I face. They don't understand what I'm going through. The world tryna play with my soul. I'm just tryna find where to go. I'm tryna remember the way. I'm tryna get back to my home. But I can't do this on my own. That's why I'm just trusting in you. Cause I don't know where else to go. And I don't know what else to do.
Just fight a little longer, my friend. It's all worth it in the end. But when you got nobody to turn to, just hold on and I'll find you. Just fight a little longer, my friend. It's all worth it in the end. But when you got nobody to turn to, just hold on and I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll find you. Just hold on and I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll find you. Just hold on and I'll find you.
They say fear haunts you and pain hates. I say pain strengthens and fear drives faith. And I don't know all of the outcomes, don't know what happens tomorrow. But when that ocean of doubt comes, don't let me drown in my sorrow. And don't let me stay at the bottom. I feel like this hole is too deep to climb. I've been looking for a way out, but I settle for a peace of mind. Picking up the pieces of my life and hoping that I put together something right. Tell me all I got is all I need. Tell me you gon' help me stay and fight. The world tryna play with my soul. I'm just tryna find where to go. I'm tryna remember the way. I'm tryna get back to my home. But I can't do this on my own. That's why I'm just trusting in you. Cause I don't know where else to go. And I don't know what else to do.
No, don't let the fear make you feel like you can't fight this on your own. You know I'll be there for you no matter where you go. You'll never be alone. No, just fight a little longer, my friend. It's all worth it in the end. But when you got nobody to turn to, just hold on and I'll find you. Just fight a little longer, my friend. It's all worth it in the end. But when you got nobody to turn to, just hold on and I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll find you. Just hold on and I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll find you. Just hold on and I'll find you.
Alright, now welcome back to the T-Dub Show. And where we left off, we were talking about the 3 major steps that are required before healing can be done after slavery. Also, for African Americans, us as a whole, to keep going in the right direction that we were going in before we lost course. Okay, we already went over changing our mind, as in realizing that there's an issue, that we have issues that we need to work out, and that we really need to see where we're going, and realize that, hey, there's a problem with our community, there's a problem with what's going on as a people, as our ministries. Our ministries are failing in the areas of family and things like that, and also there's many other areas where we're failing at as far as our communities also. So the second step is to change your perception. We changed our mind to change our perception. Let me give you a perfect example on how we have to change our perception. The last show I did was on why they got allowed slavery. I changed a lot of people's perception. The ones that actually tuned into the video to the show here, I changed a lot of their perception because a lot of us blame the white man, quote unquote, for slavery and everything like that, and shoving Christianity down our throat. But in actuality, it was God who allowed Christianity, because God, you can use people also to do what He needs them to do to get what He needs out of other people. He can hold you down, He can weigh you down, He can burden you just to get what's needed out of you. So that was one example I used when I was doing my video, because God will allow slavery for that purpose. And that's a different perception versus the white man was holding us down, the white man controlling the world and all this other stuff. That's not the right perception, because we must realize that God is in control of all things. God is master and creator of heaven and earth. He's the beginning and end, Alpha and Omega. So we have to realize that nothing goes on without God's permission, without God's consent, without God knowing about it. He already knew things were going to happen. He already knew it was about to happen. He knew everything about it. So we have to change our perception and say, okay, why did God allow slavery? Now we have to look at it from another point of view. So He allowed it for that purpose. Now that we know that He allowed it for us to get closer to Him, for us to do His will, to do His work, to do His assignments and things, because we weren't even close to getting to know God. Like I said in my previous show, we weren't even thinking about God. It was the last of our concern. It was the last of what we wanted. So He had to show us some things and take us through some things and process us to get us where He needed us to be. We're still not quite there yet. That's why I'm doing these shows today, to get so some of us can hear it, and maybe even if one person hears it, it still might do a difference. But the first step was change your mind to realize that there was a problem. Second step is change your perception, which I did in our previous video, to realize that God, help us realize that God was behind everything to get us to go in the right direction. Now, when you change your perception, and once you change your perception on any given situation, on any given type of situation, as far as healing goes, you have to change your attitude. It's going to automatically change your attitude once your outlook is different. Or just like if someone hurts you, and at first you're thinking they're doing it on purpose, you're hurting and you're sitting here in pain because you think, well, this person did me like this person did me wrong, I can't believe him, I can't believe this. And when you make up in your mind that you're not going to hurt anymore, you're not going to be hurt anymore, you change your mind. And then when you're a little more along the way, and if you actually see or find out somehow that this person didn't intend to hurt you, it was not intentional, or it wasn't, you may have looked at it wrong, you may have saw it wrong, or you may have did something to cause what happened. I'm not relating this to slavery. We didn't do anything to cause it, but what I'm saying, we turned our backs on God. We were rejecting God. That's what caused it. But when someone turns their back, when someone hurts you, and you realize that they weren't trying to hurt you, it changes your perception. Now you can move on, and now you can actually, it'll help you heal. Or when you actually, when they come forward to you with the truth, or apologize, or come to you, it changes your perception. Hey, this person really didn't mean to do what they did. Now I can move on. Your attitude changes. And in this case, as far as slavery goes, God allowed this. God used them, those hateful people back then, and there's still some out here now, to do that. They were hateful, evil people. They were just evil, hateful people. You got hateful, evil people in all races, and we're not supposed to pay them any mind. We're supposed to deal with them according to how God wants us to deal with them. You can't deal with them all the same. You can't deal with everyone the same. You got people that love you. You have to treat them accordingly. You have people that come against you or try to kill you or try to hate you. You have to deal with those people accordingly. But that was allowed for a reason. So now we have to pick up the pieces and come together as a community. We have to change our mind. We have to think about what's going on. Okay, we need to change it. We got to do better regardless of what happened in the past. And we have to change our perception in order to change our mind. Okay, God allowed this. God wanted something out of us. God's trying to get something out. God's trying to get our attention. God was trying to head us in the right direction. Once you change that perception, once you change that, it'll help you change your mind also, and then it'll change your attitude towards it. Hey, we need to do better as a people. We need to do better because we're falling right into the enemy's trap by not working together, by not being together, by not doing what God has called us to do as far as becoming one with each other, becoming families, helping build a better community. You don't see too many black communities out here. You don't see too many because we have a lot of selfishness. We have a lot of jealousy in our hearts. We're still bitter. We're still angry. We're still holding on to slavery. We're still holding on to our past and our own lives that we've grown up in. We're still holding on to the people that hurt us. We're still holding on to these things. So this can also be applied not only to slavery but in our own personal lives. You need to change your mind to not sit here and wail in your hurt and your anger and your hate and your unhappiness. You need to change your perception in the fact that God allowed those things to happen to make you who you are, so you could be better, so you could do His work, so you could be a testimony, so you can be a sign of what God can bring you out of, so you can be a sign as to what God healed you from, so you can be a testimony, so you can not be a victim. You can be a conqueror. You can be more than a conqueror. And you have to change your attitude, which means, look, God brought me through this. He can bring me through anything, through all things. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I can conquer anything and everything with God on my side. There's nothing I can't do with Him. So you can look at it from that point of view, and you can help us bring our people together. And that's the whole point that I'm trying to make here. You can use this healing process through anything, relationship wise, your own personal healing, the whole slavery debacle, anything. And that's my time. I hope you all learned something. And if you live for God, believe in what He said, He's going to take you a mighty long way. Y'all be blessed. I love y'all.